Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my show Computer Wednesday. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the fall of the tablet. So the idea was very simple. It's going to be replacement for laptop. You're going to have your laptop and you're just going to have this bottom part removed. And it's going to be the next big thing after smartphone. So as we all know, smartphone changed the world. Tablet's supposed to do the next thing. So it had a very great start. The moment in 2010 Steve Jobs announced this, it was like everywhere. The hype around it was unbelievable. Like people actually bought the idea that this is the thing. This is what we're gonna use in our future. This is gonna replace books. This is gonna replace our notebooks, and this is one device that can do it all. And it had a very great response. It's not that it just had hype. Like people actually bought a lot of original iPad was sold. So suffice to say, they had a lot of hype and they had a very great response from public. And not only that, even Samsung released their own tablets, and that also was received quite well. So suffice to say, they had a very great start. But it was quickly turned into a fade out. Basically, it's just forgotten. Like the reason for that was like, it's just a big mobile phone. This is a meme, but practically speaking, that's absolutely true. Many of the tablets were using components that's actually a mobile component. All they were changing was making a screen bigger and placing a bigger battery. So in reality, it was just a big phone, and you couldn't actually be productive on it. Laptops have been quite time tested at this point. At the time of this thing, laptops are 50 years old, so they have been tested and have bugs worked out and all that, and they are quite productive. Heck, you can get quite a powerful laptop and you can do video editing and all things like that. But this tablet, like their recent tablet, have the new feature. You have multi-window. Like iPad Pro has multi-window function. Like that's the new thing for them. So suffice to say, the productivity wise, it did not stay relevant, and there are still a lot of iPads are sold. However, all they are is just a gimmick tool. Basically, you have it in your background. You buy every 3 or 4 years, or you just bought it one time and then you are like, I'm not gonna buy again. It did not catch on like smartphone where you are replacing it every year or every 2 years. So it faded out. Now, the core reason for that fade out was the underperforming of the system. Now, sales of both Apple and Android tablets were dropping roughly around 5% per year. Basically, you lost 5% of this year, then next year you also lost 5 years. So suffice to say, financially, even Apple wasn't making big bucks that they hoped. And the reason for that is simply twofold. It lacks the actual PC hardware. Like it does not have the processor, the RAM capacity. Heck, like at the time of release, you could have easily bought a laptop that had 500 gigabytes of space, but a tablet of the same cost will barely give you 32 gigabytes. So suffice to say, lack of PC grade hardware, basically where you have actual capacity, where you have actual amount of RAM, it wasn't cutting it. And then on top of that, the lack of actual desktop grade softwares, like the Photoshop you got on that was very low cut, and you can easily tell it's not gonna handle it. So, and video editing was kind of mobile video editing. It wasn't full-fledged that we are used to. So these both things combined kind of almost made it a niche product. And on top of that, if that wasn't enough, they got a lot of competition from laptops that learned from tablets and added touchscreen. And some tried some interesting gimmicks where they had the screen fold 180 degree to make it a tablet, and then you had something that twisted. Like laptops started to become the craze again, and the core reason why all of this actually compounded was because of this. Simply, phones were getting bigger. So if you went from in the early days, like that's iPhone 3, the original iPhone 3G, and the next one is iPhone X. As you can see, the size difference is gigantic. So at the launch of the smartphone era, 3 to 5 inch was holy crap. Now every one of us has 6 inch or even 7 inch phones. Now going from 7 inch to 10 inch is not that big of a deal, and if you went to let's say 12 inch display, then it becomes cumbersome. So suffice to say, with phablets, with 2-in-1, and all the fact that they don't actually have actual performance and actual usability, it almost faded out permanently. However, there is a hope on horizon for all of you tablet lovers out there. Now the king, the black horse in this race is Microsoft. The reason why I'm saying that is, the reason tablet failed is basically it was a mobile that was scaled up. Now what Microsoft did, they took a desktop, or you can say a laptop, and shrinked it. So they went from the other way around. So this gives you a actual computer. As you can see, it even has full size USB port. This is priceless for anybody who's doing actual work on it. You don't want to have multiple other things like, oh, I'm gonna convert my video file into another format. That format is read by the app, not full-fledged application, but the app, and then you're gonna do editing. You can do such things, but this is the reason why it wasn't catching on, and Microsoft removed the whole barrier to the entry. And you have to understand, Microsoft is the biggest PC environment there is. So if they can shrink the operating system, all they had to do is just add a touchscreen layer. And they came late to the party, but that gave them a very core advantage, given the fact that PC hardware was now becoming power efficient and small enough that can be packed into a tablet without requiring them to redesign the Windows architecture. So this is their ace up their sleeve. So however, to current time, they still have two main limiting factors. First, they are idiotically expensive. Second, they are low performing. However, I am faithful that they can fix this problem. So in future, you can expect to see Windows tablets. Now you have to understand, Android tablets are in very bad position, because while Apple has a closed ecosystem, so they do have the advantage. They can ask their programmers to just port and code their stuff into the iOS side, basically the operating system, the Leopard and Cheetah operating system. So full-fledged application can be ported to the tablet environment. Android has no such thing, so they only have the app environment. So this is why I'm saying Apple and Android. While of course they're gonna sell you're gonna have your lightweight device like Amazon Fire and things of that nature, but it won't be the next big thing. However, this does have the potential to do so. So this was my presentation. I hope you guys liked it or learned from it. In that case, please subscribe or press the bell icon. And as always, thanks for watching.